Welcome to Smart Remarks. Well, I'll have, let's see, some pepperoni, sausage, onion, and how about a side of health insurance? So for years, my family lived near Papa John's franchise. My son liked it, and so when we ordered pizza, that's where we'd order it from. We don't anymore. We moved, and plus I discovered that Little Caesars has its hot and ready pizzas for $5 a pop. It's half the cost of a Papa John's pizza. Frankly, I can't really taste the difference. So I hadn't even really thought about Papa John too much until his name popped up in the news where he was complaining about Obamacare. Obamacare was going to impose all sorts of new costs on his company, costs he would have to pass on to customers. Oh, and by the way, he's probably going to have to cut his employees' hours so they don't get 30 hours a week and thus qualify for health insurance. Now, on one hand, I don't want to bust too hard on Papa John's founder, John Schnatter, because he's right. You know, the Affordable Care Act is going to impose new costs on businesses. But at the same time, he said that the cost that he will pass on to consumers amounts to 11 to 14 cents per pizza. And there have been other analyses that suggest that's a very high estimate. And really, 11 to 14 cents per pie? Is that worth going to war over? I don't want to denigrate the businessman's need to keep costs low, but at the same time, if you're going to be able to provide health insurance for a greater percentage of employees by merely tacking on 3 nickels or less to the cost of a pizza, isn't that worth it, don't you think? Here we go back to the whole I built it argument that came up during the presidential campaign. Schnatter famously started his pizza chain in 1983. He's built it into a global empire, and good for him. He's been very, very successful. Last year, he took home some $2.75 million in compensation, and he owns a reported just under 1/4 of all Papa John's stock. But at the same time, his global pizza empire is now almost completely dependent upon his employees, his hired help. He built it, but they sustain it. Could Schnatter now make and deliver all the pizzas himself? Could he run all the shops himself? No. Really, his employees are now as important, maybe more important to the success, the continued success of the business than he is himself. He's the name, he's the face, they do the grunt work, they are the people you see when you order a pizza, when they come to your home to deliver a pizza. They are the ones who determine whether you're going to order from the shop again. And yet, before Obamacare, those employees who were getting 30 hours a week, not only if they got sick did they have to call off work, they didn't even have health insurance to help defray the cost of their illness. Doesn't it stand to reason that employees with health insurance might be healthier, more productive, and ultimately happier? Might they not be better employees? Might they not help maintain your profitability despite an increase in price of 11 to 14 cents per pizza? This goes to the heart of a question that never really gets asked this way, but we're going to do it here at Smart Remarks. What do the successful owe those who help to perpetuate their success? Should the CEO take a little less so the rank and file employees who were integral to the success of his business can take home a little more? And yes, I understand that if you're Papa John's, there's a competitive aspect to this. The local pizza shop down the street isn't going to have to pay for Obamacare, but it's all relative, isn't it? The local pizza shop down the street doesn't have the same advertising budget, does it? I rarely, if ever, see their ads on during NFL games. Schnatter and other business owners in this position seem to believe that providing health care for a greater number of their employees threatens the viability of their companies. I'd say the exact opposite is true. Their argument seems to be a classic penny-wise, pound-foolish argument, but let's put it another way. The guy who delivers my pizza from Papa John's, I'd like him to be happy. I'd like him to be on time. I'd like him to do all he can to ensure that my experience is a good experience. And if that costs me an extra 15 cents per pizza, I got it right here.